We've got some interesting weather conditions here. So we've got a blue sky over here, and then over here towards the sea, we've got like some sea threat that's coming. Anyway, not here to talk about the weather. What I am here to talk about is this this YouTube, and it wasn't YouTube, it was Bookface clip that I watched this morning. And it was like very sad. It featured this this lady with about 3 or 4 kids who couldn't speak English, being accosted by another lady who was a native speaker of English.
So died 4 years ago. 4 years ago. That's that anniversary of someone's blues, right? So you took the blues off the bench by Christ the King School and let your kids have them. That's not very nice, is it? No. They are kids, that's why they it doesn't matter, but look. Okay. Look what it says. It says Charlie's 4th anniversary. It's a bit wrong that you took the blues off of somebody's anniversary bench, isn't it? So you've got the flowers underneath your buggy. No, you've got the flowers underneath your buggy, and you took the blues off somebody's anniversary bench. But you shouldn't have done it in the first place, though. No, I did that because they are kids, that's why she don't understand. It doesn't matter. There's no excuses. You've come in town to get. You've come in town. You could have got blues from the shop.
Normally, when you're born in a country, you normally grow up learning that language. So if you find somebody in a particular country who struggles with the language of that country, in all probability, they were born somewhere else and they've come to move to that country. So what do you call that type of person who's born somewhere else and comes to live in somebody else's country? Ah, I know, it's an immigrant. Thinking about being an immigrant, you see, because I'm an immigrant myself. I'm a Brit who lives in Finland. So what I thought about was, you know, my golden rules for being an immigrant. So my first rule would be, it's completely immoral to move to somebody else's country and expect them to pay for, I don't know, your food, your housing, your healthcare, your kids' education. So golden rule number 1 is only move to somebody else's country if you can afford to pay your own way. If you can't afford to pay your own way, then the moral thing to do is to stay at home. Why is that? Well, basically the taxpayers in the country that you've moved to have no choice over whether they're going to help you settle in their country or not. Because the way that taxes work is that if you refuse to pay taxes, maybe to partially house some, or put them up in hotels, you know, newcomers to your country, if you refuse that, then the government will lock up, will put you in a cage, won't they? So there's no free choice there. So people are being threatened with incarceration if they refuse to help you. So, like, would you really want to be a party to that? You know, that type of coercion. You know, pay up or we'll throw you in a cage. And if you move to somebody else's country and you're not financially self-sufficient, well, you're part of a crime, aren't you? In a sense that somebody's stealing money from somebody else, and you're benefiting from that. You know, for the left-wingers and stuff, I'm not anti-immigration, but you know, if somebody wants to come over and they can't financially support themselves, then for the lefties, you're going to have to pay for it. You know, if you want to bring somebody over, well, then it's got to come out of your pocket rather than doing your normal trick, which is the rich must pay more tax, which basically means the rich must pay more tax or we'll throw them in a cage. Yeah, because you're like really moral people and you believe in getting money out of people through threats and coercion, don't you? My second golden rule of immigration is that you respect the country that you've moved to. and you respect the culture of that country. And what you don't do is, you know, in my case, try to create a little mini version of England here in Finland, because that's just wrong, isn't it? You know, like if you want to do that, like maybe the best thing to have done would have been to just stay in England. Another rule I would say is like, so this is rule 3, is don't moan about the country that you've moved to, like, because if you're unhappy, then you should go back to the country that you came from. If it's that bad, you know, if you think that everybody's racist towards you, well, then the logical thing for you to do is move. What you don't do is just stay there and hang around like a bad smell and just moan about you know, how badly you're treated by these people that are having no choice whatsoever in paying for your accommodation, your food, etc. So just at this point, like a quick clarification, because there'll be like, you know, idiots in the comments. I am financially independent in Finland. I have never claimed a penny from the Finnish taxpayer, nor would I ever do. And I don't have a Union Jack on my flagpole in my back garden. And I do have a flagpole, incidentally. But I've been trying to persuade my wife that we should... there's various flag days in Finland. And yeah, I like Finland. I like Finnish culture. 4th golden rule of immigration for me as an immigrant is learn the lingo. It's completely rude to move to another country and keep on speaking your language and expect people to bend to your will. It's like completely arrogant. So if you're moving to another country, learn the language, and you know, it doesn't take long for you to learn enough to kind of interact with people. 5th rule of immigration for me would be a good example, be the best version of you that you can be, because what you are is an ambassador for your own country. So for me, the way that I view myself is that, yes, I'm a Brit, and I want other people, I want Finns, when I interact with them, to think that Brits are nice people, that they're polite, they're courteous, they're respectful of Finland and its culture rather than being arrogant. So, like. Yeah, so, you know, obviously going back to this lady, I don't know what country she was from, but she wasn't setting you know, people will guess, obviously, won't they? But she wasn't being a very good ambassador for where she was from. Let's put it that way. This is the other thing as well, is that people are rational. So people's opinions of a particular nationality, it will be based on their experiences. You know, sure, not everybody in England is the same, etc. Not everybody in Finland is the same. Not everybody in, I don't know, just the same. But people's interactions with those people from that particular country people will build up a big picture, and you're part of that big picture. So you just need to be like a really, really good example of, in my case, a Brit, and hopefully, you know, you're acting as an ambassador for Britain when you live abroad. 6th rule is embrace a local culture. So you know, for me, I've go and watch ice hockey. I support the local team. I go and watch the football. Again, the local team in the summer. Go to music festivals. Like, that's one of my main ways of learning the language is through Finnish iskelma music. And you know, what's the point again in moving to somebody else's country and then just in bringing your own culture with you? And you know, the other thing as well that I would say is that I don't have a desperate desire to hang out with Brits and recreate Britain here in Finland, you know, by just living, I don't know, in a part of town. I don't think there is in Pori, and I don't think Brits are particularly, well, no, they are actually, because in some parts of Spain they do it, don't they, where Brits or another nationality, they all congregate and take over a particular part of town. That's not good. That's not good, because you need to integrate. Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well have just stayed at home. And you know, if you really believe that your own culture is so much better than the culture of the country that you've moved to, well then, why have you moved? So, so of course there is an answer to that, isn't there? You know, in countries like Britain, where you get enclaves of people who basically have maintained their own culture from their country of origin. Why have they come to Britain? They're not embracing British culture, are they? They've not come for that. They've not come for British food, British humour. They've not come for the weather. They've come for one thing, which is the freebies. You know, the free NHS, the free healthcare, the free benefits. And as I said earlier, the problem with that is that you're an accomplice to theft. Your actions are deeply immoral because people have not had a free choice in whether they want to help you or not. As I say, like in Britain, taxpayers' money is being used to house people who came over on rubber boats, and they've been put up in 4-star hotels. So, like, when you earn money, you know, you might want to buy a new car, or you might want to go on holiday. You might want to go out for an odd restaurant meal, or maybe put your central heating on in the wintertime. Now, what's happening in Britain is that people are having to make cutbacks on all of those things because of taxes going up, and also the government's printing money, which is causing inflation, which is reducing people's living standards through an increase in the cost of living. You know, inflation, that type of inflation created by governments and central banks, is a stealth tax. So people are having their prosperity stolen from them. It's not a free choice. You're living off the backs of other people. And if they disagree with what's going on, well then, you know, they get called all sorts of things, don't they? Far right, racist. And if they refuse to pay taxes, well, they get locked up in a cage, don't they? So that's my take on what you should do if you're an immigrant, you know, and yeah, just be respectful and courteous, and don't expect to live off other people's money. That's all I want to say today, so God bless.